What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to do a quick unboxing and quick initial thoughts on the Fenix 8 Solar Edition. Now I've went back and forth for hours and hours. I probably spent a whole weekend deciding where I was going to go because I'm always a fan of AMOLED watches, but I also love the power of solar on Garmin watches. I think they do an excellent job when it comes to solar, and I'm really glad I chose this edition over the AMOLED. I'm going to tell you why. So if you're having a hard time deciding which to go with, definitely watch this video. And as a long-time Tactix owner, this is my Tactix 7 Pro that I've really enjoyed using. I noticed there's some differences, and I might just stay on the Fenix side this time around. I might not even go Tactix anymore, because there's things that I liked about the Tactix that Garmin actually implemented into the Fenix lineup. And as always, watch bands are my thing. I got a whole bunch of watch band videos, so if you're interested in some watch bands, I'll throw some links down below. Actually, guys, I'll throw a whole bunch of Garmin information links down in my description. So let's get into it. I'm going to tell you why I like the Solar Edition better. And if you guys are having a hard time as well, let me know down there. We'll try and talk about it all together in this community called YouTube. Let's get to it. Now in Garmin fashion, this is a minimalist style packaging. And here is the beautiful Fenix 8 51mm. Surprise, surprise, it is on, and I have been using it, like I said, for a couple weeks now. And I have the same watch face on my Tactix. We're just going to do a quick comparison. Let's put the watch aside for just 1 minute. On the inside, usual books. Nobody actually reads these, do they? Then you also do have a cable. Now Garmin, I'm happy they put USB-C. I am really happy that finally we have USB-C here, but the cable is still a little bit small. It's not a really long cable. It looks to be maybe like 1.5 feet. Thankfully, Garmin is such a force in this space that there are third-party accessories. So I just want to show you these two from Nillkin very, very quickly, guys. The first one is a 3.3 foot or 1 meter long cable. And it's actually a very nice cable other than USB-A. What would make this cable even better is USB-C. But I do like the extended length. I really enjoy having a longer cable. It's just easier to charge up this watch. Even though with the Solar Edition, you do not have to charge it up all that much. We're going to talk about battery life as well. But this is the Nillkin charger. And compared to the Garmin charger, it's just overall a little bit sturdier. If we take a look at these two tips, you can see the Nillkin one has an easier way to just plug it in with your fingers. You can grip the end of that cable pretty easily. Now, I've never had a problem with this, guys. I'm not saying there's a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, but I just want to show you overall the difference. This one is definitely about 2 times the length. So if you're looking for a longer cable, something that you can put in your bag, definitely check out these ones from Nillkin. And the quality is very strong once again. But my favorite accessory has to be the wireless charge and Garmin watch charger. So many times, guys, there's Apple Watch accessories, there's Samsung accessories, but us as Garmin users are just left out in the cold. Now, if you have the AMOLED version, you're going to have to charge up your watch. I think it's every 2 weeks or so. So this might come in very, very handy, but it's also just a nice nightstand type of edition. Let's go ahead and just unbox it and check it out. And you can charge your phone, you can charge your watch, and you can charge your buds right on the back here. And it's just a very travel-friendly as well device from Nillkin. Now the great thing about it is they also do sell accessories. So if you're like me and you have a couple watches out there, or maybe someone in your household has a couple watches, you can have the Garmin edition, you can have the Samsung edition, and there's also an Apple Watch edition, I believe, as well. But this is a Garmin video, so we're going to check out the Garmin edition. Put that Sammy one to the side. We're not really interested in that Samsung one. So this is a great way, once again, to kind of have a desktop charging station or just a 3-in-1 charging station that you can put in your office or home or wherever the case is. It also does just work with USB-C, so if you wanted to carry this in your bag, this is a great addition. You don't have to carry a whole bunch of cables and whatnot. This is going to charge from your laptop. It can even charge from your cell phone if you're in a pinch. You can just plug it in the bottom of USB-C, charge up your Garmin watch, and you're good to go. Plop this in on the side here, guys. Make sure you hear that little click. And if we take off my Tactix, it snaps right into place. Now, isn't this an absolute beauty? This is what I'm talking about. This is living in the future. This is luxury right here. And then I can place my buds if I happen to have any, which I do not have any buds right at the moment. I can place them right on the back. 3-in-1 is the name of the game. Thank you so much for giving us a Garmin edition. I've been waiting for this a very, very long time. I'll throw a whole bunch of links down in my description down below. But let's continue on with the video, guys. Taking a look at these two editions, guys, I just want to show you some of the key differences before we keep going with the Fenix 8 line. Now, the reason I kept going back and forth was just because I like an AMOLED screen. I like the way that the panel is really vibrant and colorful. And using the Tactix 7 on a daily basis, I do enjoy the solar screen. I do enjoy not having to charge this up for months and months, depending on how much sun I have. But all joking aside, I mean, I probably charge this up once every month and a half or 2 months. It's not really a huge deal. So I just went back and forth. Do I want better battery life, or do I want a screen that's going to last? After all, I choose Garmin's because I really like the battery life. I really don't want to charge a watch every 2 or 3 days. We all have enough devices that we have to charge on the daily, so having a watch that you don't have to think about is something that I actually prefer a little bit more than the more vibrant screen. But that being said, you can see that the Fenix 8 here is a lot brighter and the colors are just more, well, colorful than the old Fenix 7 was, and that's because of the way that they changed the way that this solar technology works. They got rid of that film that was on top of it, and as a result, you can see you don't really see that ring. You see the solar ring on the Fenix 8 as I get it to catch the light, and on the Fenix 8, you don't really see that ring. They kind of blackened it out, and as a result, you're going to get 50% more solar charging power versus the old generation of solar technology. You can also see it's a lot brighter and crisper than the old generation. And once I received this and I pulled it out of the box, that's the first thing that I noticed, and the first thing that I said to myself was, you know what? I made the right decision on not getting the AMOLED, even though it would have been nice. This generation kind of reminds me of the first generation AMOLED on the Venue, I believe it was, that I had from Garmin. So I'm happy with it, and again, I've only charged this once since I unboxed it. The only reason I had to charge it once is because out of the box it was only about 50%, and we don't get a lot of sun here in New York just as of yet, but I have not charged it since that time, so I had to give it a little bit of a top up. But also, let's just talk about the key differences, why I don't think I'm going to go back to the Tactix line. Now the Tactix line, to be quite honest, I never used any of the features that were in it. I just always liked that flatter display on the Tactix versus the Fenix. The old Fenix design was a little bit more rounded on the top, and I just didn't like the way it was a lot higher. I think this flatter design looked a lot better, and it just called my name more than the Fenix line used to. The Tactix is a beautiful watch, and for those of you that use the ballistics and use all of those features that are built into this versus the Fenix line, you guys already know that's something you're going to choose for life. But as someone who just chooses based on how a watch looks, because they're going to be on my wrist every single day and I want to like what I have on my wrist, I just felt that the Tactix line was a lot better, and I liked the buttons, I liked everything about the Tactix. But now that you look at the Fenix line, guys, they've actually taken some cues from that old Delta line and kind of brought it over here. So the bezel now is a lot flatter than it used to be on the old Fenix lines. It's not quite as high as they used to be, but you can see it's still a little bit higher than the glass to protect that sapphire. But again, I just like the overall look of a flatter bezel than the old Fenix line that was a little bit beefier, a little bit more rounded is what I'm trying to say, guys. You still have all the Fenix cues, like these little notches that have always been on the Fenix line, but overall I think they did a really nice job. I'm going to do a full video a bit later on, so if you want to know anything, let me know down in those comments. This is sort of like an overview, sort of like an unboxing impressions, and yes, we do get a beautiful flashlight right on the front here, and that is something I actually really like, especially at night when I'm stumbling around trying to open my door. That light is really cool, but if you're running at night or biking at night, it's just going to let people know that, hey, I'm doing my thing here, get out of my way. On the back, here's the usual sensors and whatnot. I do put a plug cover just because you don't really need it. Let's talk about a few key specs before we end out this video. This is really just kind of like my initial impressions and why I'm glad I chose the Solar versus the AMOLED. Again, chime in down below which one you went and let me know why. But I went this route once again because battery life is huge for me, and Garmin has always been top king when it comes to battery life. So you get 30 days of usage on a charge or 48 days with solar. Again, it all depends on the solar capacity or whatnot, but just bear with me. Now, GPS only, you'll get 95 hours or 149 hours with solar. If you use all satellites, you'll get 68 and 92 respectively. All satellites and multi-band, you'll get 52 hours and 65 hours respectively once again. So yep, that is a huge, huge amount of time. The new Fenix 8 line finally has a microphone and speaker. I have always wanted a microphone and speaker on these Fenix lines and the Tactix line. This is something that's just been missing. I mean, if you just want to quickly pick up the phone call and take a message or quickly ask your assistant a question, you can now finally do it on the Fenix line. So thank you very much for putting a microphone and speaker in this. Now I got to tell you guys, I think Garmin is just killing it when it comes to the smartwatch game, the superwatch game, and they have so many different variations. Again, I'll throw some links down in my description, but every other manufacturer out there has to be shaking in their boots. Garmin is killing it. More and more people that I talk to talk about how they wish or how they want a Garmin for their next smartwatch. And I can't agree more. As a Garmin lover for years and years and years, I'm a huge believer. This is always on my wrist. Another new thing is the buttons, and I noticed these buttons right out the gate. So they give you a nice feedback, a nice little vibration when you press them, and you really notice the difference. They're just a little bit more snappy than the old style, well, manual button is. So you can feel the difference. This one you kind of had to press quite a bit to activate these buttons. So you notice the difference right off the bat when it comes to these buttons here. And they are leak proof. So again, for you guys that do a lot of swimming or whatnot, the water is not going to get on the inside. I don't think it ever did with the old style. I'm not really a swimmer, but I did not read any reports anywhere which way saying those buttons leaked in. I like Garmin's push to kind of making this a fully sealed device for all types of activities out there. After all, these are called super watches in my eyes, and they do everything that you probably aren't going to do. But at the end of the day, guys, I like the brighter screen. It reminds me of a first gen or second gen AMOLED panel, so I really like the vibrant colors here. I really like the brighter screen. I really like the fact that this is going to charge with the sun 50% better than the older style did. The older style in summer, quite honestly, I never charged it in summer. I was just always out in the sun, so I never had to charge this. And I'm really excited to see that the same thing and more is going to happen with the Fenix line here. But it's just been a quick unboxing, guys. Maybe not that quick, but I just wanted to show you the brand new Fenix 8. I think this is a great device, and I'm going to have a full review coming up soon. So make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know if you want to know any questions, but I really appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will catch you in another video.